Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now, if you've been following my channel for the past 2 to 3 years, you might notice that I actually review a lot of Android devices. However, what you do not know is that I do actually carry with me two kinds of phones, one Android phone as well as an iPhone. And my iPhone that I've been using for the past 2 years has actually been this guy, which is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So recently I had the chance to upgrade to the latest iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I've been using this device here for slightly more than 2 months now, and I just would like to post a very quick long-term review. So in case anyone out there who still hasn't bought their brand new iPhone, if you are still considering, hopefully this video might help you out. Alright, so the reason why I only upgraded from the 12 Pro Max and it wasn't the 13 Pro Max was because back then I thought that the new iPhones did not have too much to offer, but this was where I was wrong. So first things first, the first thing that I noticed, the major difference between my 12 Pro Max as well as the 14 Pro Max here is in terms of that display. Now, the previous iPhones always carry a 60Hz refresh rate display, and me personally, my eyes are actually very sensitive to it. But the thing is, iPhones, their 60Hz display are actually very good. So they are super smooth on my previous iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I thought that it was already so smooth. So this was where, like I said, I was wrong. And when I had the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the first thing that really took me by surprise is how smooth that 120Hz display was. I was really missing out on this super fluid kind of display, and I think the display on the iPhones are actually one of the best. Apart from that, its brightness levels is also super bright. So I noticed that again on the iPhone 14 Pro Max whenever I am outdoors, and I do travel a lot, so I rely a lot on my Google Maps when I'm just navigating around. The iPhone's display has never been dim, and it was always super strong, especially since I was traveling in Bangkok. The sun was crazy strong, and I never lost track of the display on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this has definitely one of the best displays, period. Now, the second thing that I really like about this phone here is actually in terms of that dynamic island that you see on the top. So some people might say that it is a gimmick. Me personally, I like it a lot because firstly, it differentiates this new iPhone from a previous gen iPhone. Secondly, which is more of a aesthetic kind of feel to me, is I like the way the apps interact with that dynamic island. So for instance, if I just launch an app like Spotify and I just go back into the main menu, it will actually go back up to the top and it shows that it is still running in the background. So that's really cool to me because not only do the animations look very well made, but it actually serves a proper function there as well. So that's what I like about this. Now, moving on, what else do I like about this huge iPhone? Yes, I know a lot of people are talking about the size, whether the Pro Max version is the one to go. Honestly speaking, yes, I do hear people complaining a lot that it's heavy, it's large and all that, but I think this is really down to your muscle memory. So I've been using the Max models since it ever came out, so I'm always used to a larger phone. In fact, my hands are not even that huge, but I can definitely carry the larger iPhones without any problems at all. Most of the times, I find that although it's a little bit heavier than the previous generation, but over time you just get used to it. So don't be afraid of that larger display, the larger form factor, the slightly heavier iPhone. The thing here is that it is a much nicer display to look at, and of course you do get that larger battery life as well. Right, so speaking about battery life, the iPhone's battery has always been so good to me, honestly speaking. I tend to charge my phone just once every day, and I think it's quite normal for iPhones these days, for just phones in general. So it's actually quite alright here. Like I said, I use a lot of navigation, I take a lot of photos, I play a lot of games on my phone as well. So everything has been working really nice on this iPhone here. The battery life has always held up. So again, you will not have any issues in terms of battery life here. Now, moving on, just in terms of performance, because some of you guys who watch my channel, you guys are always thinking about whether it is the best performance out there, is it the max performance? And of course, I think most of you are already aware iPhones makes one of the the strongest kind of processors. Based on Geekbench scores alone, you see that it always crushes the scores and all that. Just in terms of real-world use, you might already know that the iPhone itself is again a very fluid kind of experience. Launching applications, even playing games, nothing really lags on an iPhone. And I can say that with, we're not just saying it for fun for the video, but it is a fact. It does not lag at all. So you can use your games like Genshin Impact. It will get a little bit hot here and there, but overall the experience for gaming is just one of the best that you can get from any smartphone today. So performance, you don't even have to worry about that, and I'll rest my case here. Alright, so another thing that I really like about the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and this might actually be an iOS thing, but AirPlay specifically, I think it works like a charm. So I have a couple of speakers in my room here. I also have a couple of speakers outside in my living room, and all I need to do is just choose a speaker directly in my list of AirPlay devices, and I can switch them on like in 2 or 3 seconds. It's super fast, unlike Bluetooth where sometimes the connectivity is a little bit spotty. AirPlay just works, and it works so well, guys. So that's another thing that I'm really loving on my iPhone, which again I think is an iOS kind of thing. Now moving on to the next thing here in terms of the cameras, with an improvement with the rear cameras now, of course we can shoot even nicer photos. I think I've posted a couple of times on my Instagram pictures taken by the iPhone, and some people still think that it was taken by a higher end camera. So again, that speaks a lot for the cameras of an iPhone. Again, just like on previous generations, the pictures coming out from the iPhone always look at its most natural state. That means that you do not have any kind of over saturation, no over sharpening and all that. Everything just looks as per what you see with your own eyes. That's the best way to describe the cameras coming off an iPhone. So yeah, that's just great as well. Alright, so final point here, let's talk a little bit about that design. We have not seen a major change in design for the iPhone in how many years now, and honestly speaking, I don't really mind that because it already looks and feels good. It is unmistakably an iPhone. Apart from that, I think it's also quite durable, but recently I've been checking out a couple of cases to actually keep my phone safe. I do not want to drop my phone, crack it or anything like that. So I've been checking out these casings recently, and I think it's actually quite nice. They are from this brand called UNIU, and you might not have heard of them because they are not so mainstream. So they do have a couple of different case offerings. First up, they have what they call the Evo Plus series, and this is basically their transparent cases. They are 3H scratch resistance. That means that your phone will be protected from any sort of scratches. It is also made of PC plus TPU, so that means a little bit of plastics here and there. And what I really like about it is that they do come with these stainless steel individual buttons, so it feels really nice to press those buttons on your iPhone. Other than that, they also have a different case called the Dapper Plus series. Now this one here looks nicer in my opinion because you have that black or blue or colored kind of frame protection, but you still have that transparent look at the back, which is slightly matte, so that you have this really nice and cool smooth touch. Overall, I think this particular Dapper Plus series is my personal favorite because it is fingerprint resistant, and these cases here are actually super light, guys. So if you're looking for a very lightweight kind of case, the Dapper Plus series would be my personal recommendation. Now last but not least, UNIU also has what they call the Quiro Carbon limited edition kind of case, and actually this is being used by my brother. He likes this carbon fiber look very much, and it's actually quite interesting here because it is made of Italian leather. So we have this light raised edge protection for the camera lens, just like on all the other cases. Again, they do come with those stainless steel individual buttons, and like I mentioned just now, they are also very lightweight. So pretty cool cases here from UNIU. Alright, so just in case you are worried about your iPhone's lenses, being smashed and all that, a lot of people drop their phones on the ground all the time. So of course, UNIU also comes with, they also have those, lens protection kind of, stuff that you can stick onto the back of the lens. I personally have not tried it yet because I have not bought any of those yet. But there's also one really cool accessory that, UNIU is also pushing, and that is their phone straps. So sometimes when you're on the go, whether you are carrying your camera, whether your hand is just carrying some bags or just some load or weight or whatever, you have this strap here to actually hook around your neck, and you can actually have your phones hooked up really nicely. They're quite comfortable to put on your neck as well, and they come with multiple different designs. So me personally, I use it once in a while, but I think a lot of girls out there might actually prefer this because they just hook the phone on their necks and they go around with their daily lives. Alright, so that's just a very quick look at the kind of casings that I'm currently using to protect my iPhone 14 Pro Max. At the end of the day, what would I say after using it for 2 months? Well, I would say that the iPhone 14 Pro Max here is still one of the best iPhones that anyone can purchase today. If you're coming from something like the iPhone 12 Pro Max like myself, I strongly recommend that you upgrade now because it really comes with a huge difference. You will definitely feel that bump in speed, you know, the nicer display, even better cameras, and that slightly better battery life. If you are already on the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I suggest you also check out the iPhone 14 Pro Max because again, it does come with a couple of new updates. And with that said, if you have any questions on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Definitely appreciate you guys here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.